Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, only the one and only Chicago
Doom ba doom doom
Bulls.
doom doom ba doom doom ba doom 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 ba doom 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 ba doom ba boom ba doom 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 ba.
Good
Who can set
afternoon,
the court
everybody.
on
It is
fire?
October
Only
the
the
16th,
Bulls keep us burning
2025,
with
and
desire.
we are coming
Only
up
the
on the
Bulls
beginning of the
who can
NBA
bring
season,
another
and now
title
we got the Eastern
here.
Conference
Who can
preview
thrill 'em,
with my man
chill
Adam
'em, make 'em
Shalafu. How you
jump
doing,
up and
Adam?
cheer?
Doing good, man. Happy to be running with the Bulls. Happy to talk some Eastern Conference. Western Conference was a blast. I feel like Eastern Conference is going to be a lot of fun as well. Um, I feel like there's so much room for chaos this year in
I
the
agree.
East when you consider all the injuries, and I think there's a lot of teams that didn't do enough. I think there's a lot of teams that really did a lot, and I think that we're kind of looking at a really fun shakeup and what's going to be a pretty chaotic conference. So I'm really excited for the show.
And yeah, so let's start. We got who we think are the top five teams in the East. I think number one and number two in no particular order is pretty obvious. We got Cleveland and we got the Knicks. And then after that, it gets murky
It
because
does. It does.
the Bucks don't have Dame Lillard anymore. All they got is Miles Turner in that as a new addition. Orlando up and coming, but still unproven in a lot of ways.
Same for
Atlanta,
Detroit.
Detroit. There's just a lot of question marks after basically one and two. But I mean, I'm going to put Atlanta in that mix.
hmm
Pistons or Bucks have got to be in that mix because I just think Giannis is so good. He'll at least have him in the playoff mix. Or at the very least, you can look at the Pistons and say they'll improve. But the question is, did they really improve this offseason or did they regress? Because they lost a lot of guys too, even though they made some nice additions, but they still lost a lot of guys as well. And then there's the Magic, who, got Desmond Bain in the offseason. Don't know how trading four first round picks for Desmond Bain really you know, put you over the top, but I can understand why they made the move. It's a win now move. I just don't see it moving the needle for them to get them to the finals.
Let me ask you this. Give me your because I was looking at your notes and I got mine on paper because I'm sneaky like that. I don't want you to see them, but give me your top six teams in the East. So playoff teams.
I would say Hawks, Cavs.
And this is in order.
No, this is not in order.
Okay. I challenge you to go in order here. In
I'd say
order.
Cavs at one. I'll go
Okay.
Knicks
I am also
two.
Cavs at one. I'm also Knicks at two.
If they stay healthy, I'm going to put the Hawks at three.
And I have Hawks at three.
I'll
Okay.
put Orlando four.
I also have Orlando four. Look at this.
I would put the Pistons five and the
I
Bucks
have the
six.
Pistons five.
And then I'd have the Bucks at six.
I do not have the Bucks at six.
Interesting. Who do you have at six?
Are you ready for the shocker?
Okay.
The Toronto Raptors.
Okay. Now
So
explain yourself, please.
yeah, so let me make a case for the Raptors. I'm gonna just pull up their depth chart real quick and kind of go by what I have to see. I feel like this is a team. If you look at last year, they were kind of stockpiling. And what do I mean by that? I mean that their roster was better than their record, but they like got Brandon Ingram, but he didn't play. But now you have like this very long, very athletic team, and you have some really nice bench pieces too. They have a few interesting young guards. No one's like super proven there, but then you have like the rookie Colin Murray Boyles, who's supposed to be this defensive star. He did not want to go there, if you remember the draft. And that was the guy the Bulls were heavily connected to. But kind of looking up and down the roster, I see a team that's going to be able to play with tempo. I see a team with a lot of length and athleticism and a lot of scoring ability. Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Pertl. And I feel like Jakob Pertl is like the next who's the guy? I'm having a brain fart here. Who's the guy on the Clippers? Their
Zubac.
center. Yeah, he's like the next Zubac. He's basically super underrated, but he's really started to have some pretty good years recently, and I think he's like kind of the perfect center for a team that's got a lot of guys who can knock down from the outside. I think between Barrett, Ingram, and Barnes, that's a three-headed monster that's really going to be able to score. I think if Emmanuel Quickly's healthy, he's still not as good as what they're paying him, but he's going to be pretty darn good. And then I really am impressed by Grady Dick. I thought he was tremendous last year. And when he had his opportunities, he showed flashes of brilliance. You throw in the defense of Colin Murray Boyles. You look at some of these kind of sneaky guards that I mentioned, like Ochaya Ogababaji. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he had some good games last year. This is just as much a compliment to the Raptors. It is a total disrespect to the Bucks. I think the Bucks are frauds. I think that their roster doesn't make basketball sense. I think that they're going to turn the ball over. I don't think that they're going to be able to shoot well. I think that they are a play-in team. I do not think they're a playoff team. I think that Giannis is going to buoy them. And like originally when I wrote down my top six, I actually wrote down Giannis instead of the Bucks because Giannis is going to keep them alive. Like I like the Miles Turner pickup, but he's not a great rebounder. And I don't like the optics of having like he's your three-point shooting solution to put a center out there. And then you're going to have Giannis who needs to operate from the perimeter to slash as well. I don't think it makes a ton of basketball sense. Kevin Porter's a turnover machine. He's not a good shooter. And frankly, he's a jackass. He's had problems. He was kicked out of the league. There's going to be bad mojo. I think that the Bucks are like gonna blow up. You know, Giannis wants to be traded. I think that like they had their chance, they got a ring. I really like Gary Trent Jr. I think Cole Anthony was like a really sneaky good pickup for them. They still have Bobby Portis. Like I think that, like I said, they're still play in. It's not like it's a complete disaster because like you still have good players. Turner's a good player. Kuzma's a good player. Porter's a good player. Giannis is a good player. None of them can shoot the three. That doesn't work in the modern NBA. I think they're screwed. But I think that after that top five, I'm putting the Raptors ahead, but then you get into this mix of like a very well coached Celtics team that is going to be in the mix. I think the Chicago Bulls could really take a step forward. I think that the Miami Heat always try to be scrappy. I don't think they did a ton in the offseason, but you kind of have this mosh posh of teams. Then you have like your Philadelphia 76ers, who like if Joel Embiid is healthy, maybe they're even in the top four, but he won't be. But
Do you think his
it's like,
career is over? Because a lot of reports have been saying his knee is so bad he can't play anymore.
as I said all last season, I've been saying it, my man. I've been saying it. Yeah, I think that he is. I mean, he's the not nice, not entertaining, not funny Bill Walton. He's all the things like the same things like skill, like a good passer, someone who's like kind of a revolutionary skill set, absolutely dominant, but misses like years at a time. Bill Walton is the most charming, one of the most charming people ever. Read his book, Back from the Dead. Amazing read. The dude just like radiated positivity. And then, yeah, I'm going to call it Bizarro Bill Walton. That's Joel Embiid. Like Bizarro Superman. Joel Embiid, he's a jackass. He's not very likable. He constantly postures. He constantly throws his teammates under the bus. Not only does this team like lack enough talent to truly like compete with like the Cavs or the Knicks or the Hawks, but they're going to have bad chemistry. I think that Embiid is a cancer in the locker room. And I think that until they move off Embiid, he will be an albatross for them when you consider how much he's getting paid, how often he's injured, and how that, like the obvious lack of production that comes with being a problem in the locker room and not being able to stay on the floor, but still insisting he's the best basketball player in the world. I've had enough. That's like pretty much all I have to say about the Sixers, except for another question you have in the rundown later up coming up on the show. But yeah, all that tie that back in. Give me the Raptors at 6.
Okay, I like that.
Did I sell you?
I mean, you sold me. You've given him some good points. I'm not gonna turn down a team that has Giannis Antetokounmpo in it at 6. I just don't want to turn that down. I think you could win 42 games and be the 6th seed this year. That's how bad the East is. And I think the Bucks can win 42 games. I think they can win 43. I think it's very possible. That's why I have him at 6. Giannis is going to get you just for being Giannis. He could have his best season this year because he's going to get the ball so much more because the team's so bad.
And that's why I wrote Giannis instead of the Bucks. Giannis
I
is
mean,
still
that's the truth. But my dark horse for 6 is the team that we're going to talk about on the next podcast, and I'll leave it for that. So I would say right now, I think we both agree on paper the most improved team. Let's move on to that is Atlanta. I mean, this team looks, I mean, I loved everything they did this offseason. And if they can stay healthy, the only caveat I have, I just am not a huge Trae Young fan. I think he holds this team back in a lot of ways because he's such a liability defensively. You can hide him as best you can, but you look, it doesn't matter. 24 points and 12 assists and 11 and a half assists a game is going to be good on any team. It's going to be productive. It's going to help. But he's so bad defensively. He might be the worst defensive player in the league. And on top of that, you know, you have to consider that, he's got a bit of an attitude issue sometimes. And he gets frustrated and he doesn't always make the best decisions. And I just wonder, does this team have enough? I mean, so let's look at I'm looking at their depth. Their depth is insane on paper. Kristaps, Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, Reza Shea, Luke
Mhm.
Kennard, Nikhil Alexander Walker, great pickup, and Dyson Daniels and Trae Young. That's a crazy amount of depth on a team. Crazy. You can do
Wins
so
you
many
think?
different things with that. Say it again.
Is there how many wins you think for the I'm looking at the over under for the Hawks. I'm just gonna pull that up. Atlanta. Yeah, so the over unders or ESPN's projected wins and the ESPN so ESPN has projected
I'd say
wins
48 would be
44.
reasonable. 48, 49 would be reasonable.
Okay. Yeah, the ESPN bet is the line is 46 and a half. I think
That
that's
doesn't
pretty
surprise me.
reasonable.
46 and a half is about, I can see that. Yeah.
So my most improved team is the Raptors. I totally see because I don't think you're wrong to say the Hawks. I think that like both teams are in a place where they're going to because the Hawks were 40 and 42. I think that they will win. Like I think the Hawks will be better than the Raptors. I think the Hawks probably win like 47 games. So that's 7 more than last year. But I look at the Raptors and they were 30 and 52. I see them winning more like 14 games more than last year, where they were winning 44 games this year. And so that's why I'm going with the Raptors. I think the Hawks are a better team. Uh, my concern, and I think that it's the obvious concern here, is Kristaps Porzingis. He really is not a guy who is all that healthy consistently.
Well, that's
Um,
why, like I said, if this team is fully healthy, I think they can do it. Even
yeah,
without him, Okongwu is such a good player. I think they can
yes,
deal without him.
but
The only
with
problem
him,
is they just
they're
don't have a backup center really besides Okongwu. I mean, who they have? They have Muhammad Gott. I don't know how to say his name from Washington
gay.
State. He played okay last year, so he'd
Yeah,
be fine.
Mo Gay is the name.
Okay.
I'm yeah, friend of the pod. Ethan Kramer is his former teammate actually. So Mo
Okay.
Gay and he's solid, but yeah, he's not moving the needle for me.
No, he's not gonna move the needle. But if Kristaps gets hurt, then Okongwu can step in. Okongwu is a very, very, very good center, so I think they'll be fine.
Overall player. He's kind of like that Wendell Carter kind of guy.
He does a little bit of everything, which is nice. He
Yeah.
averaged 13 and a half and 9 rebounds last year. Shot 57% from the field almost and 32% from three. I mean, that's very solid for a guy, you know, who's the number 6 pick overall. I mean, he's not going to call that a bust. That's a productive NBA player. So, but I just think it all depends if Atlanta's super healthy. I mean, Hopefully Porzingis' mysterious illness is gone. I don't know what the heck that was. That was bizarre. And I just think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I really
Be
do.
really good. But I think Porzingis hasn't played 72 games since his rookie year.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, it is. It is. For Washington in 22-23, he played 65 games, but then it's 57. Last year, he only played 42. We were kind of waiting for him to play, and then he eventually got healthy. Yeah, when he's on the floor, he's fantastic. And I think that when you consider the length, and I think like this is the Hawks team that takes a big step forward and starts to look like a Quinn Snyder team. I expect like better ball movement. I expect better defense. I can't say enough positive things about Jalen Johnson. I think he's one of the more underrated players in the NBA. I think Dyson Daniels got robbed of Defensive Player of the Year last year. I think Risachet takes a good step forward. And so I like that because I agree with everything you said about Trey Young. But with so much length and defense, like they do have a roster that they're going to be able to hide him. And I think that what he does offensively ultimately makes him a net positive. I expect him to lead the NBA in assists. It seems like he does that or comes close every single year. So yeah, I think they're a team that legitimately could come out of the East if they are healthy. Because like they are going to be a nightmare. And that's why they're both of our number three teams. Like that's why I have them better than the Magic and the Pistons.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I really think it's gonna be so interesting to see what Atlanta does. I think Orlando's gonna be really difficult for them. I think they're gonna compete both for the number for that Southeast division. So it'll be interesting to see. But the question is, who was the least improved team? And I think we both agree it's Milwaukee because they didn't do anything. I mean, I don't even know what
Yeah, I
I don't even like. I look at this team. I mean, outside of Giannis, it's a nightmare. I mean, great. You're set. Listen, you cannot win a lot of games with Miles Turner as your second best player. Bobby Portis might be their second best player. That's scary.
yeah, I mean, I like Miles, I like Bobby. I think Kevin Porter Jr. is like a good basketball player. Like I said, it's just if the year was like 1978, you know, then I think that they would be a really good team. But
If it was
like
1978, Giannis might average 40 with the way he
yeah, it's
runs.
just like with the spacing in the modern NBA, I think that it's going to be really easy for defenses to say, okay, shoot it. And then I think that like a team like the Bulls is going to kick their ass because they're going to say, shoot it, I dare you. And like, yeah, Giannis will get his 40 and they'll lose because the
You
other guy,
realize what
like,
Giannis did against the Bulls last year?
and
He
like I said,
averaged,
he'll get his 40.
he literally averaged 40.
That what did I say? He'll get his 40, but they'll lose. And the Bulls played Milwaukee better, but Milwaukee got worse. Like yeah, they're on my list. I wrote Milwaukee, Miami, and Philly.
Miami, I mean, I don't even know what the heck they're doing. I mean, that was
But they
not,
insist,
I mean,
oh,
they
we're
got
going to try to
Norman
win a
Powell, so
championship.
that's fine.
Miami's getting annoying.
They're always annoying, and they somehow always end up in the playoffs one way or another. I don't think it's going to
Yeah,
happen
and
this year,
that's
though.
why
I
they're in
don't
the
think
mix for
so.
that sixth spot. But I just like look at that roster and I'm like, you guys really
They did great
didn't.
the preseason they did fantastic. 0-5.
I do think that Norman Powell was a good pickup, but like, give me a break. That
Davion Mitchell's your starting point guard. You're probably going to play Wiggins at the 4 when Tyler Hero comes back. You got Norman Powell at the 3. You got Hero at the. I mean, it's not a bad starting lineup. They
well,
got Terry
Jovic,
Rozier. They got the corpse of Terry Rozier, who, hopefully he's not gambling anymore. Oops. Um,
Jovic is a good young player. I think he's
Jovic
going
is
to break
good.
out.
Jaime Jaquez is still pretty good, but that's about it. And Davion Mitchell, I mean, it's okay. And they got my boy from Illinois, Casparis. Who I think when they got him, I was so mad. I'm like,
I
are
think
you?
they'll be a little bit better next year.
No, I
Um,
don't give him. Listen, we know how good Miami is at developing their team. Khalil Ware's turned into a very solid player. Kasparis is a very good shot creator. He's just going to need a couple years to figure it out, but he'll get there.
As
So,
far as and then I want to just say Philly, I love VJ Edgecombe. I kind of hate the
no, I
rest of the
like it too.
roster.
Edgecombe's a great pickup, but without Embiid being Embiid, I mean, I don't know what this team is going to do. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this team and look, Philly's not terrible. They've got Andre Drummond, who's still a very solid player. Paul George, I mean, he's done. I mean, we can both kind of agree he's not doing that great. You got Quentin Grimes, who's a very, I mean, when he got his minutes last year, he was great. Tyrese Maxey's still a great point guard. He's a very, very good point
Yeah.
guard. And Jared McCain, when he comes back, is going to be dropping 17, 18 a game. So they've got some talent in Philly. It just, they decided to tank last year. I don't expect them to try and tank this year. I think they're going to try their best. But if they get injuries again, they very well may tank again this next year and just say, we're going to wave the flag.
Yeah, I don't see them being good enough. I think that they got a lot of issues.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
But yeah, both all three of those teams, and that's kind of what I'm talking about with like this chaos, because it is time for like the Hawks to step up. The Magic, going back to the Desmond Bain thing you said. Yeah, 4 first round picks, but they're going to be 4 late 1st round picks. You know,
Yeah, so it's not, I mean, it's not
like
as
you're
relevant.
getting Derrick Rose, you're not getting Derrick Roses, you're getting Taj Gibsons, and like that's
Yeah, but
best case
Taj was,
scenario.
and yeah, that's true. And Taj was a nice role player, but he wasn't
Yeah,
like,
like best case scenario, you're getting a Taj Gibson there. Like, unless you somehow luck into like, but Nikola Jokic's don't grow on trees. Jimmy Butler's don't grow on trees. Like the likelihood of them getting like giving up really good, impactful guys is not very high. But then you look at what they lacked last year, and that's where it gets really interesting for Orlando. That their over under is 51.5. Like that's a team that
that's
is
the
kind of
over under
like
for Orlando. That's high. I
on
would have said
ESPN.
49
Yeah.
and a half. I would have guessed 49 and a half.
Yeah, I think it's a little high. I really like the team. I think that Bain solves every problem they had. I think Jalen Suggs is going to kind of break out too. I love Paulo, excuse me, Franz, Bain, Suggs, Carter. Like team's sick. Tristan Da Silva was really good last year. I'm very interested in what Jace Richardson looks like. He's going to be more of like he's not quite going to be his dad, but he's going to be a really nice shooter from the outside. And I like Tyus Jones for a really good kind of like steady point guard for them. So I think that like those teams are kind of up on the rise, but then you look at teams like Philly, Miami, and Milwaukee, who are my teams I wrote down that didn't do enough, and like they are trending down pretty brutally. And so that's what I mean by the chaos. Like we're gonna have some new faces.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's another team that, didn't do a lot this offseason, and I think it's concerning, but they really couldn't was Cleveland. I don't think they needed to do much, but your only signing was Lonzo and Larry Nance. Your bench is not, you lost Ty Jerome, who was your best bench player. So that's going to hurt you a lot. I think it's going to hurt them a lot.
Bonzo, another guy like Captain Obvious here, doesn't really play nearly enough. The big move they made was last year to get DeAndre Hunter. Evan Mobley was so good last year. And I think that they're a team that, like, if they're healthy last year, like, as Mitchell was awesome, but he was clearly not 100% in the playoffs. I think that, like, they make a better run if they were healthy. And so, like, I don't think that they needed to do a ton. But when it really comes down to it, I kind of agree with you because like a team that did do a lot to get better, even though it wasn't anything like world changing, is the New York Knicks. Like they wound up getting a good coach in Mike Brown. Um, you look at it and it's ironic because like the whole team's like day to day right now, but like Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, we'll see about Mitchell Robinson. Josh Hart, who is just turned it, he had such a good year last year, Josh Hart, and he does everything well. Jordan Clarkson was like the perfect addition for a team that needed a backup point guard so bad. I really like Miles
But he's more of
McBride.
a shooting guard. He's more of a combo guard scorer.
Whatever he was, they needed him because he is a combo guard. But like it was so ugly when Brunson wasn't on the floor, and they needed someone to just keep things stable, to not fall off a cliff when you checked him out of the game. Their lack of depth killed them. I think that Thibodeau, it's like the same thing we've been talking about for 20 years now with Tom Thibodeau as a guy who, I don't, not 20 years, but 15, 16, you know what I'm saying? A guy who plays his guys too many minutes. I think that the Knicks, I expect to maybe not be as good in the regular season, but they're my pick to come out of the East.
Who, the next, you said?
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you. I think it's going to be Cavs Knicks in the conference finals. I think that's what it's going to be, most likely. I mean, I just don't see Atlanta or Orlando being able to make that leap just yet. I think the Knicks, I mean, the best player in the Eastern Conference right now, it's either Mitchell or Brunson. I'd give a slight edge to Brunson, just a slight. I mean, you could say Giannis, but I'd say among those two teams, it's probably Jalen Brunson by just a slimmest of margins over Donovan Mitchell. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see, what happens in the East because let's face it, after those first two teams, maybe four teams, it's possible after the top four, your fifth place team has 42 wins, 43 wins. It's that bad in the East right now. I mean, it's a train wreck. And
Who do you think is the worst team in the East? Because I feel like you could make
Brooklyn.
a.
It's Brooklyn.
You think Brooklyn's worse than Washington?
I think it's very close between the two. I mean, Washington's real bad, and so is Brooklyn. They're both really bad. I think, Washington, I mean, Washington's got a couple of like Sar is nice, but I mean, there's just nothing there. You
Yeah,
got the
but one
corpse
team
of
we
Chris
have not
Middleton.
mentioned yet that I feel like we're not getting given enough love to is the Indiana Pacers.
I don't know if I can give love to a team that's going to win 38 games.
So you think that they're going to kind of fall off a cliff?
I think they're gonna. Or the question is, are they going to be like that Raptors team the year after Kawhi left and just dominate? And we're all going to be like, "Oh my god, like what the
See,
heck happened?"
here's what I think. Here's what I think. I think the Pacers, like, I really like what I saw from Benny Mathurin. I think he
Losing
could.
Turner really hurts them, and especially on the interior.
However, I'm a big believer in Jay Huff. He looks like he works at the Home Depot, like in the lumber department, but this dude can
I'm
shoot.
giving you a funny look, dude. What?
Yeah, I think Jay Huff's a good player. I think
I
he's a
know he's a
perfect
good
fit.
player, but he's not going to solve your problem on the
Well,
interior.
sure, he's not going to solve all the problems, but like I look at this roster and I think like Jay Huff is going to be a pretty solid player, like a 7'1", 240 dude who can like shoot very well from three. He shot 41% from three last year. Like you get some of that Miles Turner stuff without the Miles Turner price, but um I think that you kind of look at up and down that roster, and I don't think we're giving them enough respect because they could be that six team, and the Celtics
No,
too.
they
And so
could. They could. I just think
you still have like Siakam,
who's your closer
Neesmith,
at that? Who's your closer if
Mathurin.
it's not Tyrese was your closer. Without having a closer, it gets a lot harder.
Oh, sure. And I don't think that they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA
No way.
Finals, but like,
No.
I think that they could be a playoff team. I think the Celtics and the Pacers, obviously, like you have the huge injuries, whether it be Tatum or Halliburton, you have the huge injuries. But I feel like we've almost been a little disrespectful because it's not like they're going to stop existing. I think that they're probably like they could both be better than the Bulls.
No, I agree. I mean, I think Indiana could definitely be better than the Bulls, but just because of the talent that they have, and they still got some good depth on that team, so I mean, we'll see. I'm just not totally sold on it. I just
Wins you
really
think for Indiana? You said 38.
38, 39 wins. I think they could be the 7 seed and get from the play-in. I think they could be the 7 seed, win that play-in game, and then, but get bounced in the first round. I think that's very feasible. They could be the
That's
six
pretty
seed and
fair.
get bounced in the first round.
What about the Celtics? Because these are teams that we have to at least talk about. Obviously the injuries, but like,
That front court depth is awful. I mean, it's
yeah,
a
I feel
mess.
like it's going to be a lot of small ball, and I
I
wouldn't
mean,
be
they got Chris
surprised.
Boucher, which is fine. I mean, Chris Boucher's nice. He's
I do
nice.
like I don't like him as your starting center, but like the Cuta, like he's solid. He's
Bill
solid.
Simmons. Bill Simmons is. I think Bill Simmons went bald. He pulled out his hair so much this offseason. I'm not even kidding you. He hates all these moves.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna like
It's gonna be bad.
I think they're gonna
Like,
be right back in the mix next year, but I wouldn't be
oh, no
surprised.
question. They'll do stuff next year to be able to make the comeback. Like,
Yeah,
listen, listen. If they're able to keep if they are even able to trade in a sign and trade Anthony Simons because he'll get a nice contract, and then you can find a way to make a deal for like a nice center, or maybe you do this. What if you call Utah and say, we'll do a double sign and trade. We'll give you Anthony Simons and we'll take on Walker Kessler or something like that. Because they're rebuilding and you're not going anywhere.
it would be very interesting.
Wouldn't it be
Yeah, I mean,
interesting?
I do think that they will make a move one way or another, like if they want to be competitive this year. If they want to have
I
this
don't know
be
if they
their,
do. If I'm Boston, do I want to be competitive or do I just want a lottery pick and, find a
well, that's
center in
kind
the
of where I'm
draft?
going with this. Like, if you're Boston, would you rather like kind of like gut it out and make the playoffs, or would you rather kind of have this be your David Robinson year, if you're catching my
I'd
drift,
rather
where
have it
like,
be my David Robinson year because you got a really good next year is a very solid draft class as well. And I mean, it's not you're not there's no real number one prize yet in terms of a player. It's not going to be a Cooper Flag at the end of the rainbow, but you know, listen, a top five pick will get you
was that a
places.
leprechaun joke you just made or unintentional?
That was unintentional. I didn't even realize. That's
Oh,
funny. I
that
didn't
was
even realize
clever.
I
Well
did
done.
that. Yeah. Oh, you're at the top of the rainbow.
Oh, we're going to win 14 games. We could win 44, but we're going to tank. We'll see. I mean, like it also, I could see it being like on the other side of the coin, though, one of those, because like Brad Stevens, his, he's obviously
I
not
think
the
their
head
coach is
coach.
too crazy to let him tank. I think Joe Mazzulla is not going to let him tank. There's no way.
Well, yeah, yeah, because like I could see this team like basically being kind of a similar to the Bulls last year, where like they're going to take a ton of threes and they're going to play like really small. Um, like I think
I mean,
that
they
they are
did.
going
Let's
to.
be real. They did that last year, and they lived and died. I mean, they really lived and died by the three last year. This year, they're
Yeah,
gonna. I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be a nightmare. I mean, they're gonna be shooting 43, 45 threes a game probably.
like Derek White, really good player. Peyton Pritchard. I think we're going to see a lot of like rotations where we're going to have Pritchard, White, and Simons and Brown all on the
They're
floor.
gonna have Brown playing the four at some point. It's gonna
You
happen.
have to. And so I feel like they're a weird team that, like, if they decide to be competitive and there's a decent center in the buyout market, they could, like, go from a team that's 12th in the East to a team that, like, climbs up to eight,
Can I be honest?
always.
I'm scared it's gonna be Vucevic. I'm scared they pick up Vucevic. That would
You
be.
know, he's one of the obvious names. And like, if you're the Bulls and you can, like, do something where you maybe, like, get maybe that first round pick or a favorable swap or something, like, I feel like it becomes an interesting conversation because the Bulls are not going to like trade Vucevic for nothing.
I don't think
But
anybody. I think he's going to be a buyout candidate. I don't think anybody wants to make a move for him. I don't think so. But he's in
well, I
the
think
last year
that
of his
like he's
contract
going to
now,
be
and I think he's more viable as a trade
bingo,
candidate now because he's in the
bingo.
last.
You said it though. He's on the last year of his contract, which I think makes him more likely for a team like the Celtics, who are like, all right, this guy's going to help us like make it to the playoffs. Let's make the move now. I think teams would have been a little bit more intimidated to take on a guy who still had a couple of years left on his contract. But for Boston, who has like such a glaring need at that position and could like be a Vucevic away from at least being a respectable team, Yeah. I think like if there was one team in the NBA who's if Vucevic doesn't wind up, finishing the season with the Bulls, if there was a team, it would probably be the Celtics.
Yeah. All right, folks. We're gonna get let's do a couple of we're running out of time, so let's just do a couple of over-unders.
Yeah, we
So
got about 5 minutes left.
yeah,
Let's
let's
hit
do
it.
a we're gonna leave the Bulls for the next one. That's gonna be our main
Yeah.
topic.
The
But
reason we haven't talked any Bulls is because you got to listen to the Bulls preview, and that's coming up next. That'll be coming up Sunday.
yeah. Okay, so let's do like the top five in the East. Let's be realistic. We'll make it quick. Um, so we'll make that very quick. All right, so let's start with Cleveland. Cleveland right now, it has them at how much do they have them at? Let's see. They are at 57 and a half. I'll still go over on that. I'll give them over. I think they can win 58, 59 games, 60 games still.
I'm going under, but it's real close. I'm thinking like 55 to 57.
Okay, I mean, what did they win? 64 last? That was insane.
Yeah, we'll see. And maybe they, we'll see.
Knicks 53 and a
64.
half.
Jeez. I'm going under. Like
You're
49.
gonna go under. I'm gonna go just a little over. I think 54.
I think
Put it
that
right
the
there.
East is going to kind of eat itself. I'm probably taking a lot of unders here.
Okay. Orlando 50 and a half, it says. On this is FanDuel.
Under.
I'm gonna take under. I'm gonna
But it's
take
like
just a
48,
little.
you know?
Yeah, like it's not too close. Okay. Let's go with Atlanta's 46 and a half. Under?
Over for me.
I'm gonna go over as well. I agree with you. Okay. All right. And let's go. And we'll throw it in there. Boston 42 and a half. That's a good one. That's good. That's tough.
Going like 42,
Yeah, I'll probably go under just barely. Like I'll just barely go under.
What about the
All right.
Pistons?
Pistons are at 45 and a half. Remember, they had 44 last year. And I don't think they're as good as they are. I'm going to go under. I do not think they're as good. Unless Asar Thompson has a crazy year and a crazy leap. Jalen Duren starts shooting threes and like all this. I just don't see them being as good.
You know what hurts them? Like, this isn't going to be talked
Dennis
about a lot.
Schroeder, losing Dennis Schroeder kills them, I think, in a lot of ways.
Malik Beasley.
Malik Beasley, they could bring him back, but I don't think he's going to be in the league. I think he's blackballed from the league to some degree.
He's in big trouble, man. And like he was so crucial for them last year. He was their, hey, take 23's guy.
And it worked. He was the third best shooter in the league last year.
He had some really, really good games last year. So I think that's going to hurt them. I'm just curious. And this can be our little nibble, our little tease for the Bulls preview. What is the Bulls over under?
I think it's got to be 39 and a half. What? It's 33 and a half.
Pounding.
I'm a lock on that over. I'm
Over.
locking that in as an over.
I'm
That's a
gonna-
lock as an over.
I will be placing a bet with my money.
I will
on the
do that
Bulls.
too with you.
Yeah, we're
There's
riding
they are not winning 33 games. I don't think so.
the disrespect.
They were better without Levine last year, and we'll give our reasons why we're going over on the Chicago Bulls, but 33 and a half, that's low balling them.
Crazy. Thank you, everybody, for listening. It's been an awesome episode of Running with the Bulls podcast. If you enjoyed the show, leave a comment, leave a friendly rating, and we'll see you next time. Bulls preview coming up this Sunday. Be there or be square. Patrick Ecstatic on the tunes. Joshy boy, final thoughts?
Go Bulls!
Go Bulls. We'll see you.
All around the world, they know this team will survive. Who's got the pride, the glory to keep the dream alive? Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, only the one and only Chicago Bulls. Who can fly through the air? Who can get them off their feet? Who can always snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat? Who can play the toughest defense, shattering the score, get Chicago up and rocking, crying out for more? Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, Chicago Bulls, only the one and only Chicago Bulls. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh. Chicago Bulls. Yeah. Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls.